Okay, so in last class we are discussing the topic is animal tissues. In last class we discussed about the epithelial tissue. Now we are going to discuss about the connective tissue. So what is the main function of the connective tissue? That is the function of the connective tissue is to hold the organs in position. To pack the organs in position, we can call it as a connective tissues. So connective tissues are several types are there. Okay, so their main function is holding the organs in position, and also whatever they also help in the body defense. That is, body defense means if the organs will be affected by any way, they will protect. Defense means protection, and also they will repair the organs or some of the tissues, some of the that is a small portion of the muscles. It will be repaired, and also they can store the fat. So these are the major functions of the connective tissue. Okay, so see what are the other types of the connective tissue. So there are several types are there regarding to the connective tissue. See here I am showing the nice picture. See, that is a loose connective tissue which is present under the skin. We can call the other name for this loose connective tissue is the areolar tissue. Okay, the first one is the areolar tissue which will be present under the skin, and the second one is the adipose tissue, and the third one is the blood. Blood is also a type of connective tissue, and the fibrous connective tissue we can call it as a ligament. Okay, and the next one is cartilage, a soft bone we can call. It is also one type of connective tissue, and the next one is the bone. Malafi, mute your microphones. Chaitanya Bhai. Okay, so these are the some of the different types of connective tissue. So let me discuss. The first one is loose connective tissue, which is otherwise called as areolar tissue. So it is one of the type of connective tissue which joins different tissues. That is, it helps in the packing and also to keep the organs in position. For example, we'll be doing several types of what you can say exercises. Some of the persons you can see they will be keeping their head down and putting their legs up. Okay, some of the yogasanas, wherever they will be doing like that. But the organs will be displaced over there. No, the organs won't be displaced. Wherever the organs will, whatever the position will take, whatever will be tilted, whatever will be, sometimes we'll also bend to catch some things. So at the time also our organs won't be displaced. Our organs will be present in their position only. So because of this connective tissue, that is areolar connective tissue. Okay, and the cells which will be present in this loose connective tissue, we can call them as a fibroblasts. Okay, so these are the major components which will be present in this type of connective tissue, that is in the areolar connective tissue. Collagen fiber, you are seeing that is somewhat brown color, so we can call them as a fibroblast. These, with the help of these fibroblasts only, the organs will be hold together. That is, the organs will be held in a particular position, in their respective particular position, and these fibroblasts can secrete the fibrous materials. Again, these brown structures, whatever you are seeing, the thread like brown structures, these structures are going to be secreted. Some other, you can see some thin lined threads, these will be secreted by the fibroblasts only to hold the other tissues. That is, the tissue to tissue will be connected, organ to organ will be connected with the help of this loose tissue, that is the fibroblast. Okay, not only holding the organs in position, these cells are also help in repair of the tissues whenever they will be injured. Okay, so in this connective tissue, if we can observe the color, two types of fibroblasts are fibers, whatever the fibers secreted from the fibroblast, white fibers yellow elastic fibers. Okay, the function is same only. That is to hold the organs in position. That is the main function of this loose connective tissue or areolar tissue. Okay, and the next one is the see here, that is of adipose tissue. Okay, for example, adipose tissue, where you can find the adipose tissue means under the beneath the skin. Below the skin only we can find the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue contain the cells called adipocytes or okay adipose cells we can call adipocytes or adipose cells. For example, if you can compare what is the importance of the presence of this adipose tissue in the human beings means you can compare us, that is the you can say youngsters with the old people. That is, whenever the winter arrives at the time, the old people can't be able to tolerate that much of winter, but the youngsters, that is you, the people can be able to tolerate that winter. Why? Because of presence of adipose tissue only. So what the adipose tissue containing means, adipose tissue can be able to store the fat globules. Okay, how much amount of fat globules they will store, that much the adipose tissue size will be increases. Okay, got it. So it's because of presence of fat in the adipose tissue, the adipose tissue is acting as a insulator. That is, insulator means it is a good conductor to heat, can able to absorb the heat. How much amount of adipose tissue will have, that much amount of heat will be generated in the body. Okay, it won't allow to escape of the heat from the body. That is the main function of the adipose tissue. And also it will keeps our skin moist, shiny with the help of this adipose tissue. Okay, it will protect our skin from becoming scaly, or whenever in the winter season arrives, you can face the problem. Our skin will be dry up very quickly. So that will be solved naturally with the help of this adipose tissue. So here adipose tissue is acting as an insulator, that is it protecting us from the severe cold, and also it will keeps the body shiny, that is keeps the skin shiny, and also it will also protects our skin from some of the germs, we can say. Okay, so this is about the adipose tissue. And the next one we can see here, first well, let me discuss the bone. That is the bone. Bone is also one type of connective tissue. Okay, we already know the function of the bone. The bone will give the structural support, a structure to the animals. Okay, it will frames work that supports the body. Okay, it is the major component of the skeletal system. Okay, so bone is the one type of connective tissue which can give structure to the animals, and also it is the main component of the skeletal system of most of the vertebrates. Okay, vertebrates means whatever the organs will be having the vertebral column, we can call them as a vertebrate. So where human beings will come under the vertebrates only. Okay, and what is the composition of the bone? Very important for your competitive exams. Bone is made up of two types of chemical composition, that is calcium carbonate and calcium phosphate. So that's why only our elders are saying that to keep our bones in good in condition, they ask to take the everyday milk. Why? Because milk is rich in calcium. So bone requires, for the proper formation of the bone requires the calcium. So the composition, the chemical composition of the bone is calcium carbonate and calcium phosphate. So what we can call the cells present in the bone? So we can call them as a osteocytes. The cells of the bone, we can call them as a osteocytes. One more picture I'll show you that. Okay, see here the internal structure of the osteocyte are bone cells. So here you'll be having osteon, that is the cells, the whole structure. Each cell we can call it as a osteocyte, and several osteocytes we can call it as a osteon. Okay, and it will be having some fiber like structures which we can call it as a canaliculi. and center will be having a canal structure which we can call it as a Haversian canal. So this is about the structure of the osteocyte or bone cells. Okay, so where the cells will be formed, where these osteocytes will be formed. So these osteocytes will be formed in the central hollow portion of the bone, which we can call it as a bone marrow. Okay, bone marrow. So these osteocytes will be formed in the central hollow portion of the bone, which we can call them as a bone marrow. Okay, so bone is also one type of connective tissue which is made up of a calcium carbonate and calcium phosphate. Okay, and the cells of bone is the cells of bone, we can call them as a osteocytes. A group of osteocytes, we can call it as a osteon. Okay, and it will be having some fiber like structures which we can call it as a canaliculi. Okay, here you can see the structure of the bone here also, and the central hollow portion here they will be mentioned as central canal or Haversian canal, we can call it. Okay, the main function of the bone is it is the major component of the skeletal structure. It will give the structure and position to the body. Okay, and protection also. Okay, it is bone is also helping in the along with the muscles. It will be helping in the movement of the organism. So this is the major function of the bone. And the next see above cartilage is there. What is cartilage? Okay, so it is we can call generally we can call cartilage as a soft bone. Okay, it is also function like a bone, but it is soft. Bone is a very hard in nature, but cartilage is soft in nature. So where we can find the cartilage? We can find in the cartilage in our body also. Our external ear is made up of a cartilage. Very it will be we can able to bend as we like, but it won't be teared off. Why? Because that much strength it will be having. Even it is soft also, it will be having more strength like that of the bone. So external ear, tip of the nose, okay, and the ribs, near the ribs also it will be present. Okay, so in these regions we can also in the trachea, our trachea, if you touch you can able to bend that this C-shaped structures near the neck, you can find the trachea. So these trachea is also made up of a cartilage. So in our body also we can along with the bone, some portion of the body is made up of a cartilage. Where we can find means our external ear and also the tip of the nose, near the rib region, ribs, that is in the thoracic cavity where the lungs will be located. That is where the lungs are protected by the structure called rib cage. In the ribs also we can find the cartilage, and also in the trachea. Trachea is also made up of a cartilage. Okay, if you'll see the structure of this cartilage, and one more important point, embryos of several vertebrates do not have the bone. They will be made up of a cartilage only. Okay, and one more example here, the total which we can call it as the largest animal on the earth. We can say on the earth or in the water, the largest animal is the shark. Okay, that much dangerous animal, wild animal also, their body is totally made up of a cartilage only. Okay, so cartilage is hard, but not as hard as bone. It's a hard only, hard substance only, but not as hard as bone. We can find in near the joints also, near the joint region also, we can find the cartilage. Okay, so this is about the cartilage. And the next one, that is a fibrous connective tissue, that we can call it as a ligament. That is where we can find the ligament means the ligament can able to, this type of connective tissue can able to secrete some fiber like structures, okay, which can able to hold the one bone, that is the two bones together. Two bones together, wherever we can find the joints, there we can find this fibrous connective tissue, or we can call it as a ligament that connects bones at the joints and holds them in position. Okay, and these whatever the fibers, with the help of fibers, that is between the near the joints between these two bones. Example, you can say the knee bone. and also the elbow region. Two bones are getting connected. These two bones are getting connected with the help of a fiber. The fibers are made up of a protein called collagen. Very most important protein, this one, collagen. Okay, this collagen is made up of a fiber. Collagen giving, that is a very that is a structural protein which can give that much hardness to the fibers to hold the two bones together. So bone to bone connection will be done with the help of the ligament. One more important here they hadn't given, that is the tendon. Okay, tendon is also there. However, that is the movement of the organisms will be done with the help of muscles and also the bone. Now we discuss the bone to bone connection. Like that, muscle to bone. Muscle ki bone ki kuda connection jaruguta untundi. Connection untundi. So that will be happen with the help of the a type of connective tissue which we can call it as a tendon. Okay, remember, don't get confused between ligament and tendon. Ligament is a type of connective tissue which can hold bone to bone. Bone to bone ni రెండింటిని పట్టి ఉంచుతుంది. Okay, tendon, muscle to bone. Muscle వచ్చేసి it will be connected to the bone with the help of a fibrous connective tissue which we can call it as a tendon. Okay, and the last one, the last type of connective tissue, that is blood. Okay, so it is totally different when we are comparing with other types of connective. Why? Because here we can't see any type of okay, any type of fibers materials to hold the organs in position. Here, so this is the blood. So here the remaining all are comparing to the blood. Here blood is a fluid connective tissue. Why? Because it is in fluid in nature. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. కొంచెం sound తగ్గించుకుంటాం. Okay, so blood here is a type of connective tissue. So we can call blood as a, because of its nature we are calling it as a fluid connective tissue. Okay, ma. See here, why we are calling it as a fluid connective tissue means major portion of this blood is containing the water. Nearly 85 to 90% of its extracellular fluid is made up of water, which we can call it as a plasma. That is, along with the water, we can find some of the antibodies, some of the proteins, okay, and some of the what you can say components we can find here. Okay, so let me discuss before that the structural components of the blood. So we can see the blood is red in color. Okay, and why the blood is red in color? Because of presence we'll be having different, not only the red blood cells we can find here in the blood, we'll be having different types of cells are present: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets and plasma. Okay, before discussing that, so how much amount of blood is present in our body? This we have to, a normal human being must have to contain 5 liters of blood. Okay, and they have to be, in human beings especially, they have to be float in a, they will be circulated in a closed tubes which we can call them as a blood vessels. We'll be having a separate mechanism, a well developed mechanism is there. It is how much long, how much height the organism will be, that the whole organism has to be inside the that it has to be circulated with the blood. Okay, how it will be possible? It will be possible with the help of a most well-developed mechanism, with the help, that is a pumping organ, which we can call it as a heart. With the help of the heart, the blood will be circulated throughout the entire organism. Okay, in a closed tubes called blood vessels. So how much of blood will be circulated per day? Here means 36,000 liters of blood in the distance of nearly 20,000 kilometers in the time period of 24 hours. Okay, 30,000 liters, 36,000 liters will be circulating in our body in a distance of 20,000 kilometers within one day. That much amount will be having in our body. No, we'll be having only 4 to 5 liters. Normally the human beings, that is in females, will find 4.5. 4 to 4.5. In male organisms we can find the 5 liters. Okay, so that much amount only will be having, but the experts are saying that in within 24 hours 36,000 liters of blood is circulating in the body. That is where we can getting means that many times it will be circulating with the help of a most developed pumping organ, that is the heart. Okay, and you can find all organisms will be having the blood is red in color means no. So here you have to say that the blood is red in color only in some of the organisms. If you take the insect, that is the arthropod, best example is cockroach. If you see the blood of this cockroach is white in color, and if you can see the blood of snails, the blood is blue in color. Why? Because of presence or absence of hemoglobin. Wherever we can find the hemoglobin in the red blood cells, that is in the blood cells, that the blood is red in color. Wherever we can't find that hemoglobin, then the blood is colorless other than the white we can find. Okay, and also so here plasma. Let me discuss about the plasma. So besides water, now only we discuss that 85 to 90% of the blood is composed of water only. Along with the water, we'll find some of the nutrients like glucose, amino acids, proteins, vitamins, and hormones will be present. Along with that, in the blood, will be having, that is some of the excretory material, that is whatever the substances we have to be excrete from the body, they will be present in this plasma only. Okay, excretory products like lactic acid, urea, salts, they will be present, etc. So plasma also contains some of the clotting um, blood clotting factors. Just example, heparin. Heparin is a natural anticoagulant. Why it is needed means whenever by mistake our blood vessel is injured. Okay, so to prevent the leak out of the blood from the blood vessels, the heparin, with the help of heparin, that injury of the blood vessel will be cured, will be repaired by the heparin. So that's why we are calling heparin is a natural anticoagulant. So without any taking help from the outside, our body is repairing itself with the help of this heparin. Okay, so this is about the small brief report on the blood. And you can see the cells. If you see the cells present in the blood. Okay. So here you can see three types of cells are the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So based upon its color, we are naming them like that. So red blood cells. So red blood cells. Now only we discuss that wherever we can find the presence of hemoglobin, a type of protein. Okay, heme means red, globin means protein. Okay, so because of presence of hemoglobin, blood is red in color. So which helps in the major function of these red blood cells are, they help in the transportation of gases, that is the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, so 1 ml of human blood will be having 5 millions of red blood cells. Okay, 1 ml of red blood cells, that is 1 ml of blood will be having nearly 5 millions, 4.5 to 5 millions of red blood cells will be present, and their lifespan is only 120 days. So this is the structural and functional report of the red blood cells. Red blood cells are also called as erythrocytes. Erythro means, it is a Latin word which we can call, erythro means red. Cyte means cells, red cells. Okay, so because of presence of a hemoglobin only, the cells are in red in color. Okay, and this will let me go to the next type of blood, that is the white blood cells. Before that, where they will be generated red blood cells, that is the, now only I said that lifespan of red blood cells is only 120 days. So after 120 days, they will be go and die in the spleen. So that's why we are calling spleen as a graveyard of RBC. Graveyard means all of you know, శ్మశానం అని అంటారు కదా. So we are calling red blood cells, sorry, spleen as a graveyard of RBC. Okay, and where they will be, that is after 120 days, then how can we get the red blood cells means, so whenever will be in the mother's womb, at that time the red blood cells will be produced or generated in the liver and in the spleen, whatever the organ is acting as a graveyard. So whenever will be in the mother's womb, at that time the spleen will be going to be generate the red blood cells. Whenever will be grown up, that is in adult condition, so the production of these RBC will be changed. From where we can get means, they will be generated from the bone marrow. Now only we discuss the bone marrow, the hollow portion of the bone. We can call it as a bone marrow. Okay, so this is about the red blood cells. And one more important point here, very important exam point of view. The mammalian red blood cells are mammalian red blood cells are anucleated. Anucleated means they won't have the nucleus. Okay, mammalian RBC are anucleated. They won't have the nucleus. For example, in last classes, in lower classes, we discussed that each and every cell will have the nucleus. But here, RBC, that is whenever will be in the mother's womb, or whenever the RBC cells are in immature stage, that is not developed, at the time they will have the nucleus. Whenever the red blood cells are matured, okay, then they will thrown away the nucleus. Okay, so red blood cells are anucleated, without nucleus. They won't have the nucleus. This is a peculiar point, unique point to the red blood cells. But in some mammalian organs, they will have the nucleated RBC. Example, mammalian organs only camel and llama. Camel and llama, these two type of mammalian organs will have the nucleated nucleated RBC. Okay. And next one is the white blood. The second type of blood cells are the white blood cells. So here, white blood cells are otherwise called as leukocytes. White means here by name itself only indicating that they won't have the hemoglobin. So that's why their color is white. Okay. Leukocytes. Leuco means white. Cyte means cells. It is a Latin term. So because of absence of hemoglobin only, they will be colorless. So that's why we are calling them as a leukocytes. Comparing to the red blood cells, the white blood cells are less in number. So there, what we said, 1 ml of RBC, 1 ml of blood will have 5 millions of cells. But here, white blood cells, for 1 ml of blood will be having only 3 to 9,000. 3 to 9,000 of cells only will be present in 1 ml of blood. So that much very least count. Okay, and but their function is very most important here, white blood cells. So again, these white blood cells are of two types based upon the presence of granulocytes. Inside you can see, so here whatever you are seeing that is the white blood cells. They will be showing in a purple color, white blood cells based upon the presence of, I'll show the pictures of these so white blood cells are of two types based upon presence and absence of granulocytes. Okay. Okay, see here white blood cells. Okay. So here in the basophil, you are seeing some granules. Here in this picture, it will be visible to you. అక్కడ కొన్ని చుక్కలు చుక్కల్లా కనిపిస్తున్న పింక్ డాట్ లైక్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ we can call them as a granulocyte. Not only this, in the eosinophil also you can find them, but their size is very less comparing to here, so that's why they are not visible. So based upon the presence and absence of granulocytes, okay, we are categorizing them into two, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Wherever we can find in the WBC cells, wherever we can find the granulocytes, we can call them as granulocytes. And wherever we are not finding any granule structures, we can call them as agranulocytes. So here, granulocytes are of three types: neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. Eosinophils are otherwise called as acidophils, also we can call them. And agranulocytes, WBC cells, are lymphocytes and monocytes. Then what is the function of these granulocytes and agranulocytes means here? So they will fight against